Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media presents Around the Region, the Fall Sports Show. I'm your host, Mark Gregory, alongside Edward Hall. As soon as he decides to come and pay us a visit, I guess we know what he's already doing. He's going over there doing his little sharing thing to all the pages. And again, we've talked about it 100 times on this show. It's a StreamYard Facebook issue. You got to go and now, absolutely, you got to go to the pages. You got to share them back to the groups, and yeah, it's a mess, but it'll take Everett a few minutes, but he'll be on. But want to thank all the viewers for tuning in tonight, and finally, it seems like the world's getting back to normal, and maybe we could get back to sports full time and get back to doing the things we love and the things we love to cover, and but before we go into sports and before Edward jumps on board here, we're going to. I want to take a minute to. I want to get our nation out there to prayer for Allison Messer. She has lost a family member, and her and her family is going through a rough time right now. And just want to say prayers out to them. And we love Allie and love her family, and just love what she's been doing about helping us. And she's a very energetic girl. Was a really good student athlete also, but we've also got another really good student athlete from that school coming on tonight. So we're excited to talk to DJ also. And Lynn Camp, they turned out some good athletes, but Edward's finally come back to us here. So how you doing, Edward?
Well, after doing all the behind the scenes work, I'm doing pretty good now.
Right before you come on, I was talking a little bit about Allison, and again, just prayers out to her and her family, and just too many of just too many losses right now. And I just recently came from a funeral also, so uh, just anytime when you lose a loved one, it's tragic, but prayers out to them. Changing courses here. Let's give a big shout out to our sponsors, and hopefully, Edward's Johnny on the spot on these. A big shout out to Bryant Family Medicine and our corporate sponsor and everything that they do for us. And cannot say enough about them and their kindness that they've showed us, their generosity that they've showed us. Just just all around great people and just a family right there. And they make you feel like family when you go in there. They've taken care of my family for years, and hopefully they can take care of your family. And just go in there and if you're feeling a little under the weather, then we're the people to see. And like I said, they treat you like family. We also got I'm not going to say a newcomer because she's been around for a couple of weeks, but we also got a big shout out to Heather Martinez Realtor, and she's with Sean Rogers Realty Incorporated. And uh, personally, myself, I don't have the money right now, but Everett, if you're wanting to buy or sell your home or something like that, she'd probably be the person to go to.
Well, you got to own your home first to do that. So you can go ahead and put yours on the market and buy me one.
Well, they would probably pay me money to keep buying in the shape that mine's in. I've probably got one of the oldest houses in Whitley County, but it's hanging together. We got a pretty rough water leak up the hill from us right now, so it's like literally flooded out my whole yard. But hopefully it gets corrected pretty soon, or I'm gonna have to be swimming to work. But go give Heather a shout if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, and
Well, I mean, he just disappeared, but I just want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors. And now here comes Mark back after he decided he's going to take a 15-minute break.
no, I had one of the world's loudest sneezes right there. I had to do so. probably wouldn't been appropriate to did it online. But again, go give her a shout. Heather Martinez, Realtor. She's part of Sean Rogers Realty Incorporated. Again, she showed us a lot of generosity, and she reached out to us, and she just wants to do her part. That's all she said. I just want to do my part to help promote these student athletes, and good for her. And she's helping us promote, so we'll do a little advertising for her. But she don't want it, but we'll do it anyway. But that being said, Edward, while we got a few minutes, talk a little bit about football, because our first guest is, of course, coming from Lynn Camp, and he's just a terrific football player himself. But let's talk a little football. Just your thoughts on the season. You can talk about one certain team. You can talk about anybody.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be about a team or any team. It's just going to be about every team as a whole. You know, from what I've seen going back and looking, a lot of teams has put out the work compared to where they was at this point in the season last year. Now you can see that a lot of teams have put in the work to get to make their team better and to make themselves better. And what more can you ask for than, if you're a coach? What more can you ask for than improving game in and game out? And that's what you've seen all season long.
Well, that being said, let's bring on our first guest. Are you ready, Edward?
I'm ready.
DJ Wren from Lynn Camp. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. We're hanging in there. I've got a small cough and a couple of sneezes in me, but other than that, I'm holding together. I had to keep this up here. It says "Mom loves you, DJ," so I need to keep that up there.
Yeah, she sure does.
Well, but just want to talk a little bit. We wanted to bring you on the show. Just not only by your personal performances, but by your team's performances. So we'll let you get a little bit of both. But let's first start about team, because we know you're all about team. 3-1. You're doing pretty good right now. So talk about just a year so far.
Well, the year's going good so far. What we really want to do is we want to keep winning games, because this is the first time in about 4 or 5 years that we went 3-1, and that's really big for us. And we've put in a lot of work over the off season. You can tell this team really wants to win.
Yeah, we got up there and covered you one game, and just the atmosphere, just everything around you, it just felt different up there, and the one thing that I really can't get off my mind more than anything, but I'm sure you're probably more used to it than I am, is just that light display. I mean, Edward, just how them LED lights and stuff goes there at Lynn Camp. I mean, we've been to a lot of places. Maybe we need to do a top 10 LED facilities, but they would have to be right up there. Some of the best I've seen.
Yeah,
I would have to absolutely agree.
Just a beautiful football field, beautiful football stadium. The fans up there are just 100%. They just Lynn Camp Nation for sure. And but we talked a little bit about team. Let me talk a little bit about you. What have you did? I mean, you've always been a very special athlete, but it looks like the switch has been turned a little bit, and you've taken it up that next notch.
Well, it's really just where last year I was playing quarterback and had a lot of seniors, and this year I'm at running back and we got a new quarterback coming in. Everything just feels a lot more comfortable, and just put my head down behind a great old line. The offensive line's been playing amazing all year. So
Absolutely, I've seen that firsthand. Folks, that offensive line can move dirt. I mean, you can just shovel dirt in front of them. They're like bulldozers. I mean, I'm sure Daryl might one day get on to them for maybe pushing some of that turf back. But now them boys could absolutely move dirt if they needed to. That they fire off as good as I've seen anybody this year. But Edward, go ahead.
Well, first off, DJ, thank you for coming on the show. And I actually just did a little bit of research, and the last time that you all started out, 3-1 or better was actually the 2018 season. So, you can definitely tell that this team has improved, year in, year out. So, it's just like what Mark said. What have you done, personally during the off season to get yourself to the point you're at right now?
A lot of work in the weight room and a lot of speed and agility work on the field. We have a lot of guys putting in hard work in the weight room. That's a big difference than what we normally have because, some guys, they get in the weight room, they don't really push you as hard as you can. But this team, we get in the weight room together, and everybody's pushing everybody as hard as they can.
And, looks like you're getting ready to jump into a district matchup against Middlesboro. So, which I'm sure you've played them in the past, but give me your thoughts on this season's matchup with them.
Well, they lost a couple seniors last year, and they was a really good team last year, and they're still a really good football team, but we're a lot better football team this year too, and I feel like it's going to be a lot more of a competitive game than it was last year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, I agree. I've got to watching both firsthand, and I think you're correct. It's going to be a very exciting game to go watch. I believe it's going to be a very physical upfront game. But that leads me to my next question: when you're playing teams, do you prefer the more physical team, or do you prefer the teams with a little bit more speed and flash to them?
Well, I prefer the physical teams. I like getting physical.
I could see that, and I just got to ask you. You was talking about getting physical. When you're out there, are you like a trash talker? Or do you let like your game do the talking? Because if it's me, I run through Mark, stiff arm him, whatever. I'm gonna go kick a little turf on him, dirt on him. I'm gonna make him cry, trip him, whatever. That's kind of trash talker I'm gonna be to him.
I don't really say much unless they say something to me first, and I just tell them it's coming. You wait for
it. But Mark, before I keep going on,
tell us a little bit about Coach Hendricks. And I love Daryl to death. I love Nikki to death, and they've always felt like family to me, and just love them both to death. But tell us a little bit about Coach Hendricks.
Well, Coach Hendricks come in, and it was his first year of a head coach of a football team, and he's doing really good so far. The guys are excited. Everybody loves him. Everybody's playing good for him. Like we've had 3 different high school coaches, and it's been a lot for everybody, but everybody's coming in good together. Coach Hendricks has done a good job with our coaching staff, and he's doing a great job.
When I think of Daryl, and I know you know him much better than I do, but when I think of Coach Hendricks, I think of somebody that's cool headed, and he just always has the eye on the prize. He don't let a whole lot of things get to him. He just all business. Am I pretty close with that?
Yeah, he really wants to win football games. That's for sure. He's always pushing for that next step.
Yeah, and you could tell by when you talk to him, and anybody that knows him knows he pours his heart and soul out for Lynn Camp, and it's starting to tell. I could tell that he's definitely the point where you said he leads by example, and I could tell that his guys really love him and just want to play hard for him. Now, 3-1, you're just moving right along. What is it going to take for you to keep going at this level? And then your team's goals is like any other team's goals. You want to have the hardware at the end of the season. So, what is it going to take for you to keep on keeping on?
Well, we all got to show up to practice and just keep putting your head down and grinding. Practice every day, hard work, and we're going to try to find another game from where we got canceled from Bellevue. We're going to try to fit one in our bye week. That's going to help us along the way too. So we just need to keep coming to practice and showing up every day.
I gotta go back to the offensive line, and I'm not taking nothing away from what Yins are doing offensively or defense. Defensively, Yins are a wall. But the offensive line, have you got them guys like nicknames or anything yet? I mean, because them guys are like bulldozers or something. I mean, you got a nickname for them or something?
That's just the hogs, man, in the dirt.
so,
They
so
stand down there in the dirt and fire off
uh,
the ball every play.
are there any times like in the huddles you tell them old guys, you like, look, boys, let's just take over?
About every time. I say, get me at least 3 yard push right here, and I'll make something happen.
And you can see it. I mean, just wow. I mean, that's just watched a lot of football this year, and I tell you, the offensive line fires off as good as I've seen anybody. But ever go ahead.
So, you know, you said you've had multiple different coaches. So how hard is it to transition from one coach to the other?
It makes it quite difficult because different coaches, different offenses, they switching stuff up. Just it's always changing, not having the same. Because a lot of teams have the same offense, same defense year after year after year, and we've changed back to back. So, last 2 years we've been with Daryl. It's been a lot much of a better for change.
So I know you said you went from quarterback to being the running back now. So was that transition like easy, or was it more difficult where you was more used to the quarterback position?
Well, at first it was kind of iffy, but I mean, truly, when I was playing quarterback, I ran the ball majority of the time anyway, so I was happy with it. I've always played running back anyways, so I was really happy with the change. Plus, we had a really good quarterback come in, so
So I've asked quite a few players this. Playing as a quarterback or a running back, and when you play defense, also does that help you like read the plays a little bit better than if you was just one sided?
yeah, just knowing how guards pulling power works as a running back, you know what their mindset is as a running back too, and it helps you. Me playing linebacker helps me know what the backs are also thinking because I play running back and I think about the same thing probably.
So this question is going to more go back to when we covered y'all and watched y'all play Berea. But like the first quarter, you all just took it to them. Second quarter, that they kind of fired back. But when you watch games like that, most of the time the team that has the momentum at halftime normally pulls it out. But you all came out that third quarter and just basically said, no, these next two belong to us. So how do you go in at halftime and just come back out with like more fire and passion than what you did at the opening kickoff?
Well, we come in at halftime in the locker room. Everybody was fired up. We just got to try to make sure nobody got too big of a head because a lot of teams go in too big of a head, come out, get punched in the mouth, and then the game will turn around on you. And when they come out and they scored on us in the third quarter, started getting some stuff, we really had to lock in for a minute and start driving the ball, and then we got right back into the groove and started driving again.
So my final question for you before I get you back over to Mark is I know I done this and my team done this back when I was in school, but at the beginning of the season, was there a certain team that you all had highlighted that you couldn't wait to play against the most?
Probably at that first game, Jellicoe. We knew we lost to them last year by a touchdown, and we wasn't going to let it happen again, and that's where it all started. And Jackson County was another one because they had us 42-2 last year, and we remembered it.
So basically, this is. Would you consider this like getting redemption on some of them from last year? Or?
Yeah, definitely.
But Mark, before I go into the
Well, you hear it a lot in wrestling. The so and so revenge tour. Maybe we could say it's the Camp revenge tour this year. So that'd be a good headliner though. But I mean, just the turnaround is just it's very dramatic and but the talent was always there, and I'm sure DJ would agree with me. it is it with the talent there. That sometimes you just gotta get that feeling, like a confidence thing to learn how to win, or am I off base with that, or
It's really just about playing as a team. Last couple of years, we had a couple guys that get big headed, try to argue back and forth in the huddle and just stuff like that. You can't have stuff like that. Got to fix the little things. And this team's really cracked down on little things, and we all play as one. So
well, that's one thing we've seen a lot on film. You do not hurt yourselves at all. I mean, if you don't beat yourselves at all, and very, very disciplined football team. And the Edward, I mean, me and you talked about it here all week. I mean, the improvements are leaps and bounds, and what Coach Hendricks has
Absolutely.
did, in such a short time. But DJ, I'm sure you've seen also. It's hard for me not to bring up this. I've seen some pictures of like the middle school teams coming up, and there's a lot of numbers on that team. A lot of boys playing. Do you think the foundation that you and your team is setting right now is what's building this for the future?
yeah, I really do. Because when I was in middle school, we didn't have that many people. It was still 15, 20 people. And now our middle schools, got a lot of kids, especially our younger guys, fifth and sixth grade. They got a lot of kids, and everybody's just keep coming out. And I think we're inspiring them to come out.
Yeah, I wish we had a picture of that to show to our viewers, but this don't look like a typical middle school team. Ever you seen the picture? This if I saw
I
this
have.
team come on the field, I'm like, my goodness, it's not what Lincoln's doing right now. It's just what's coming in their future. It's also, I mean, this ain't a one hit wonder, folks. Lincoln, they're good now. They're going to be good next year. They're going to be good next year, the next following year, next following. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And but DJ, before I let you go to Edward here, gotta ask you this. This was a question between me and Edward all week. Do you want to go by DJ or Daryl?
I'd probably go by DJ.
Okay, so we hit it right. So like I hope we ain't saying it. But Edward's got something for you, and then we'll let you get out of here.
So we do typically put together a few graphics for every student athlete that does come on our show, and that is our way of saying thank you for taking your time to come on and talk to us. And after the show's over with, I will send them to you. That way, they're free for you to do whatever you want to with, and we will post them on our pages. And everybody's more than willing to share them, save them, whatever they want. But just want to kind of get your opinions on them and see which one you like the most.
All right, I like that one.
So, which one of the two did you like the most?
You really know how to put them together, don't you?
Well,
uh,
I do appreciate that.
uh, we'll go with the first one because it's got more. It's got three of me instead of two of me.
So you can't ever go wrong with the original.
No,
But from everything that I've seen so far, you've been killing it. Your team's been killing it. Yeah, just keep killing it, and best of wishes to you and your team the remaining part of the season.
Absolutely.
all right. Thank you.
Uh, TJ, just again, heartily saying, just want to wish you personally the best of luck, and of course, your team the best of luck. Love Daryl, love Dickie, love all you down there, and always felt like home to me. And I could tell we got pretty good views at this point. For our viewers, go to Lynn Camp, go to that field, wait till they go flashing them LED lights and just that color. It's beautiful. It's one of the beautifulest stadiums you'll ever see. Just how all that meshes together. You've got to go and watch a game there. This team is vastly improved. I'm telling you, I don't know who'll win or lose. I'm not into the business of calling them or guessing at these games. But I'm telling you, if Millsboro don't bring their A game, Lincup will win that game. Well, Lincup's going to bring their A game. And I'm telling you, they're not nobody to be overlooked this year. They're the real deal. I've seen them. But
Yep.
again, thank you for your time, and hope that we get you probably hopefully we get you back home before the end of the season too. But just wish you and your team the best of luck.
Thank you.
Just a great kid. I love DJ. He's just as humble as any young man you'll ever talk to. Just very humble and just he reminds me. Well, he's much more athletic than me, but he's got that country humbleness to him to a point. He's very country humble. So I bet you DJ would like go fishing and all that stuff.
Well, that'd been a question for you to ask.
Yeah, I forgot that, but I guarantee you, I bet you he likes doing some bass fishing, some catfish and stuff like that. You can see the country in him. But absolutely love him, man. Wow. Well, hats off to Lynn Camp. I mean, we, 3-1, keep it rolling. But are we ready for our next guest?
Absolutely.
Carrie Lamb of Bell County, and I hope I pronounced that right.
It's
It's
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Kyrie, okay. So I knew Edward would correct me here. But how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, want to thank you for coming on short notice. I was slacking today. Edward, is that you crunching? That must be Edward crunching, or is that my internet?
That's probably your internet, Mark.
Kyrie, do you hear crunching, or is that me?
Yeah, it's you, I think.
It's gone. Edward's crunching what it is. What are you doing, Edward?
I'm not doing nothing.
But Kyrie, other than the crunching, just tell us about the season and how it's going.
I think we're doing pretty good this year. We're working pretty good as a team, and there's not a lot of drama on the team this year. And we all have really good chemistry. We've been playing for forever with each other since like middle school. So
Um, looks like you're 15-6 at this point in time, having a really, really good season. Tell us a little bit about Coach Fultz.
Foles is really encouraging. In practice, he's been a little bit more like heavy on us these few practices because he sees the potential in us. We've kind of been slacking, and like you can see it in games. We don't take it as serious as we need to be, and in practice, some of us have our headphones in, and I think we really needed to fix that. And now that we've done that, it's kind of made practice more beneficial.
Can I ask you before I let you go to Edward, but how tall are you?
I'm 6'2". I'm pretty sure, if not 6'3".
6'2", 6'3". So can you slam a basketball?
What is it?
Can you slam a basketball?
No,
Have you tried, or are you close?
there's I can't.
Oh.
I just can't.
I mentioned basketball, folks, because you've probably not been watching sports around here. If you don't know, she plays other sports too. But maybe I just gave you the hint right there. But never go ahead with your crunching.
Well, I've actually got the coverings a time or two this season, but I am a stat person, and right now you have 55 blocks, 353 kills. So just how do you do that?
Um, well, I mean, I really couldn't do it without the rest of the team because there's no way I could get on the court and do it by myself. It's impossible. And like I think we have like I said before, really good chemistry together that makes us work well together as a team. And if we're not doing hot, we'll like talk to each other and say, "Oh, you need to do this, or you need to take a step up," or we'll try and help each other.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe, do you all play Barville at home tomorrow or at Barville?
It's at home.
So, have you all had a chance to look at them this season?
We haven't. No, we've been trying to figure out some games this year. We've had a few people like cancel on us, and then Colts is trying to been like scheduling people just very quickly, and it's not been working out. So we've not had much time to look.
I got you. And right now, are you all are in the driver's seat in the district play, right?
Yes.
So just give me your thoughts on how your season shaped up.
I think we've done pretty good. I mean, obviously, I think Harlan County's our biggest district rivals this year, and they're pretty good competition. I think we played back and forth with each other. If we watch film on them, I think we can figure them out pretty well. Just we have to work well as a team, and we can't get down on each other either.
So I've got to ask you a little bit about the Rocky Top Classic that you all played in.
We went 3-2, and the two teams that we lost to, they were very good. They were very experienced, and it was almost like playing a college team, is what it felt like.
So that would be the Powell, Tennessee, and then the Lafayette out of Georgia.
Yeah.
But Mark,
Um, just got a comment on there that said, "That's my granddaughter. Go 32." I'm sure you know who made that comment. But it's always good to have family support you and stuff like that. You know what, Kari, Edward, never did support me. He never supported me in any time. So I just had to let you know that. So it's always good to have support. But talking about, let's get back to, your multi-sport star and stuff like that. Of course, we know a couple that you do play. Is that the only two that you're going to play, or do you do other sports, or have you thought about doing other sports?
When I was in middle school, I thought about doing softball, but I didn't really like it, so I didn't like play or nothing. And as of now, I just play basketball and volleyball.
Well, I could see you being a really really good softball player too. And it's crunching. It has to be my internet. I'm trying every which way in the world to try to fix it. I don't know what's going on there, but hopefully that lines out. I've tried to arrange everything here, but it's still not working. Maybe Edward could do some tweaking on his side, but uh, just tell us, talk a little bit about your teammates. I mean, you don't have to talk nothing funny or anything might get you. Why did you say that? Just tell us a little bit about your team in a whole.
I think we really like to goof off, and it really carries off into like games and stuff. We don't take it as serious enough, but it also gets us like chemistry and to where we can understand each other. Like we're not always cracked down on each other, like harsh on each other. You know what I'm saying? I like to make jokes and like push people and nudge them and kick them and just like overall like play with them and whatever.
Well, I can't let you out of here without, we've had, other volleyball players and stuff on the show, and this question always seems to pop up. Okay, if you're killing the ball or bonking the ball, however you want to call it, Name me one person on your team that you would want to hit with the ball, and name me one person on your team that you wouldn't want to hit with the ball.
I can't do that now.
He's taking the political way out. Now, Edward, if I had a chance to spike one off his head, I would, and then I'd laugh at him. But so so the- so there's nobody that you would just like to bonk it off their head one time.
No.
No, no. But see, that's team togetherness. Edward, you can learn from that. But
Well,
Edward,
won't you get out there and I'll see if I can bonk it off your head.
of course, at 15-6, your team's rolling and having a really, really successful year. What is it going to take to get to be that end game to be able to get that trophy to have the parade down to Bell County and just come home to hard work?
We practice at least when we don't have games, we practice 2 to 3 times a week, and I think really locking in during practice and paying attention and like trying to make yourself better, asking people what you're doing wrong and trying to correct it. I think that's really going to help us a lot. And like playing together as a team, we have to maintain that and stay together and not talk crap about people and roll your eyes and do whatever.
You can learn from that part, Mark.
I we brought a lot of times because a lot of times I think of volleyball for some odd reason the sport of dodgeball gets in my head too. Would that be a sport you'd like to play? That me froze up.
You're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Oh, we talk a lot of volleyball for some odd reason. The sport of dodgeball comes to our heads too. The dodgeball be a sport you like to play? Like hit people with the ball and stuff.
Um, in middle school, I played a lot of dodgeball in our little PE class. It was pretty fun.
But I watched a movie once before. The words was if you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. You go ahead, Edward. Well, I mean, if you could dodge a wrench, you could probably dodge a ball.
I mean, probably.
Oh.
But these are a couple of my favorite questions to ask. And I do know you are a multi-sport star. So how does playing one sport help you play the other?
Definitely. I think playing volleyball helps with like jumping in your basketball, like skills like rebounding, basically anything in basketball. And basketball kind of just helps with like your speed and agility and all that. So carries over in both, I guess.
I mean, I could see that there's a lot of jumping in both sports for sure. But I used to do this. My team used to do this. So at the beginning of the season, was there a certain like tournament, classic, or team y'all had highlighted y'all couldn't wait to play the most?
Um, for the team, I think we really like to play Harlan County because there's a really big crowd and everything is just so like loud and everybody's cheering no matter who you are. I think it's a really good environment to be in. And for our tournament, the Rocky Top Classic, because there's like 40 different teams playing, we all like to eat, so we get good food. And there's a water park and all that. So,
Well, that sounds like a fun little tournament to be able to play in right there. But I do see the Bobcat Classic coming up very soon, October the 5th.
yes.
So so give me your thoughts on that.
Well, I don't know who's in the bracket for that, but it's always really good, like experience. And last year, I don't remember if we won it or not. I'm pretty sure we might have. Um, but everybody plays each other. There's not a team that goes without playing each other, and I think it's really good because people are coming in from different teams, seeing how you play, and then kind of just watching, and then you'll probably end up playing the team next. So you kind of have an idea on what or like how they play.
So my final question before I get you back over to Mark. You mentioned about them two teams at the Rocky Top Classic that you said come in like college teams. So how does playing that level of competition prepare you for like district and region play?
I think it really showed us like our weaknesses for the most part, and that we still need to play together as a team and not get down on each other and yourself. Because, like, say somebody shanks the ball, we don't, we need to come together as a team and not like push everybody off. We need to stay together as a team and like ask them what you're doing wrong. But it's really good experience because they're hitting the ball so much harder than like average teams. So it just gives you a new visual.
I got you. And since the Rocky Top Classic, you all have went 3-0. So, but Mark,
Just really want to again just hark back to earlier. Just thank you for coming on, and I was a little bit behind today, and you was Johnny on the spot about agreeing to come on, and anytime when any student athletes come on this show, it's just we just want to thank you for giving us your time. I know you got this thing called school, and I know you got a thing called life, and probably the least thing you want to do is just come and get 1,000 questions by a bunch of old guys about stuff you already know about. Like I've played this sport my whole life, I think I know it already. But we learn more from you than what you'll ever know. I mean, every time we get to talk to like you, we learn more and more about the game, and then that helps us better present it whenever we're going to these games for young. So it's actually we learn from young, so just can't not give you enough thanks and for coming on and just keep on keeping on. 15-6 is pretty solid records, and you look at that schedule. I mean, you've got a lot of tough teams remaining, but yours are pretty tough too. So I'll let Edward fish you out though.
so we do tend to put together a couple graphics for each student athlete that does come on our show, and that's kind of our way of saying thank you for taking the time to come on and talk with us. And I will send them to you after the show's over with, and I'll post them to our pages. So they are free to do whatever you want to with, but we just kind of like to get your opinion on them and see which one you like the most.
Those look good.
So, I mean, like I said, I will send them both to you, but out of the two, which one did you like the best?
I like the first one better.
So you can't go wrong with the original.
Nope.
Nobody never
But
agrees with me, Kyrie. Nobody ever agrees with me. You always say the first.
hey, it's the original. You can't go wrong with the original anything. It's the classic. But, hopefully I might be able to come down and see you all Monday since, I get to watch it, get to cover you again this season. And, but, from everything I'm seeing, you're absolutely killing it. Your team's killing it. And, just keep doing what y'all are doing, and best of wishes to you and your team, the remaining part of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Just thank you and for coming on, and good luck to you personally. Good luck to your team for the rest of the year, and hope to have you on really, really soon.
Thank you very much.
just another great interview by and Kari's another one that's got a good head on her shoulders, and you know we've been up there several times, and I tried to get her to do I think a 3 point deal with us there last year, but I think she'd sue him. She didn't want to embarrass us, so at least she didn't try to kill us with that. But one of these days I'll get you in a 3 point competition, Edward, and show you the art of the granny shot. Okay, let's go real quick while we got a few minutes. Let's go football, soccer, volleyball, and this is my thoughts. And this has nothing to do with we. I'm not going to give no rankings. I'm not going to give no who I think is best or who I think is this, who I think it is in football. I mean, I really like what Camp's doing. Uh, Corbin took their first loss in the regular season in a couple of years, but still, they're one of the state's best. I like what Bell County's doing at this point. They seem like they're getting to their midseason form. I'm telling you, and I'm not taking away from none of the future opponents for Bell County, but that Bell County Rock Castle County game, if everything holds serve, has got a lot of big. It's going to have a lot to do with the RPI and how it breaks down on maybe who finishes at first in the RPI. There's look at that RPI. It's shaping up to that Bell Rock is really going to be a big game for all angles. But then you look at volleyball, you look at what OBI boys are doing, and have you got anything from the All A today, or?
Well, that's actually what I'm trying to look at right now. Well, it looks like if what I'm looking at is correct, looks like the Louisville team ended up getting OBI.
So that's a really good run by them though, and they're going to be a tough out in this region. And then you look at the girls side of things. You've got North Florida with a good win there at Corbin the other day. I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, Edward. It seems like the girls side of things might be a little bit more open than what the boys side of things are. I mean, OBI still has a lot to prove, but OBI is really really good at this point in time. But you got the Whitley girls, you got the North girls, you got the Corbin girls. Yeah, there's a lot of it's really really close in girls soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I've personally, when it comes to the girls' side of soccer, I've got to see Middlesboro, I've got to see Bell County, Harlan County, Knox Central play, and each one of them's got real good talent, and you've got to see the the other the other side, and we talk about it all the time, and I do agree that I think that it is you know more even than the boys' side, because on the boys' side I've got to see OBI, I've got to see like Middlesboro and Harlan County also, and but you know OBI does have a little bit to. They still got stuff that they'll tell you that they've still got stuff they're improving on, but they're going to be a tough out for anybody.
Well, OBI got a big one against South Laurel, and now they've got a game against Whitley, I believe, Tuesday, and Whitley ain't easy on nobody either. They got a really really good unit up there also, and that's going to be a good game right there. Now going to
Yeah,
volleyball.
'cause we was at, I think it might have been part of the 2A when Corbin played Knox Central. I think that might have been part of it, or that might have been the 13th
Yeah.
when it was up there at Whitley County. We did get to see. I did get to cover Corbin there, and they're not going to be an easy out for anybody either. So
No. It's there's a lot of good teams out there. Then when you go into volleyball, Of course, you think Corbin, you think Whitley County, but you can't forget about Harlan County. You can't forget about Bell County. And if I'm missing one, tell me, Edward. I mean, you've covered a lot of this
Williamsburg,
too. Williamsburg, you can't forget
Williamsburg, Pineville. We've watched
Pineville, of course, Pineville.
we've watched we've watched North Laurel, firsthand. I think
North.
I think the girl's name was was Reagan, I believe, that we presented a plaque to, and she hits that ball with some force when she's trying to kill it, and so but the volleyball's shaping up to be kind of interesting too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and again, you look at the Pebbles and the Harlan counties and and you look at some of the other teams that you've covered. Of course, you always think of the bigger schools, the Corbins, the Whitleys, stuff like that. But I'm telling you, any one of these schools could jump up and really be heard from very loudly in this region. And Powell's rolling right now. We know enough about Powell that we know about the coaching staff down there, and it's going to be exciting whenever it comes down to tournament time, and we'll just see how all this runs out. But I'm harping back
Well,
at football. Well, go ahead. Edward.
well, you was talking about Harlan County, and I've covered them a time or two this season, and last year they ended up finishing their season at 19-10, and right now, if I'm not mistaken, well, he disappeared, but if I'm not mistaken, they are 12-3 on the season, so that's a lot of improvement over a short time. But now, since he disappeared, I guess we'll go back to the football side of things. And, you know, Mark's more in region. I'm more, like more statewide. So I cover a lot more ground than he does. But, you know, disappeared
Uh,
on somebody.
yeah, I had a cough attack right there. But in football, I'm gonna hop back to Bell County. They lost the early one. That's taking nothing away from North. North's a solid foundation down there. They've been good for many years, but they seem like they're getting into that mid-season form. And that's a team that's definitely getting better and better and better and better. And maybe put their best performance of the year against Whitley County their Friday night, and they looked really good. And then of course, you look at Corbin. They did lose one, but they're still one of the state's best. You look at that, just some, Lincoln, what they're doing. Lincoln Millsboro is shaping up to be a dandy of a ball game down there. There's not much separation between them teams at all. And a game like that, you think about, well, turnover this or that, we'll sell that game. And then you look at Harlan County. Harlan County's got a big one against Pikeville, and folks, it's still Pikeville. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Pikeville, but this ain't the Pikeville Road. Belfry put it on them pretty good there Friday, and Corbin, beat them also, but it's not the Belfry Road. I mean, it's not the Pikeville Road. They're still good, but that's a game that Harlan County could definitely compete and definitely win, and that would be so big for that program to pull that out. And I think Harlan County could absolutely win that game.
I mean, I absolutely agree with you. We've seen Pikeville firsthand, and they're still a real good team. But again, I've I've seen Harlan County firsthand, and I do believe that's something that they can pull out.
I think Harlan County could absolutely control the line of scrimmage. I think Harlan County can. play their type of football, and I think they can control the clock. If they can make enough defensive stands, I think they can absolutely come out there to win, and that'd be a big win for Harlan County down there. And I like I like a lot of the football routes here. North Laurel's play a good one. We haven't even mentioned about South a big win against Estill County. My goodness, that's another program on the rise.
Absolutely. And, another team that comes to mind for me, and they are 4-0 right now, and they just come off a very good win, which would be Clay County.
Do you know how big it would be if they could pull that one off Friday night? Would,
And
would, would
which are I'm gonna tell you from we've had some of our own up there covering Clay County, and from what I've seen, the what film and footage I've got to see and highlights I've got to see, that they're very capable of taking that game Friday.
well, here's a $1 million question I'm asking you. Yeah, I know you're pretty good at the RPI. You're like me, you're an RPI geek. I like the RPI. Most people don't. I do. But Clay County beats Rockcastle County Friday night. Are they number one in the RPI?
Well, I mean, you would have to put them number one because Rockcastle is number one in the RPI in 3A. So if Clay County, which is like number 6 or 7, if they do beat Rock, how could you not put them there?
And
They
it looked
are
like
five. That would make them what, 5-0, and they just beat the number one team RPI in 3A.
all the math would work definitely in their favor because that would be a big jump. And they're not
Yes.
far behind numbers wise as far as that number. And that would be, you know, could you imagine how big that'd be for the people in Manchester just to see Clay County number one in that RPI and there's a real opportunity there and again it goes with the math but if they win that game if they don't get number one it would almost be almost really hard for me not to think they're not top three. I mean, they would have to be right up there. And anybody knows about the RPI, it has everything to do when it comes to playoff football. It has a lot to do with, you know, again, you got to face the opponent in front of you. But again, that RPI also helps also. I mean, a lot of times it keeps you at home. And trust me, most teams would rather play at home instead of travel 3 hours somewhere out western Kentucky. I mean, still the home's home. But
Yeah.
but Edward, been a good show, and I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about your show, and your show is just doing what Edward's show always does, and it just kills it with numbers. But just tell us a little bit about your show and give us your final thoughts, and we'll ring out of here.
Well, as far as my show, it is on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. It is more of a statewide show, so you never know who you're going to see on there or from what school they're going to be on that you're going to see somebody from. And but I'm gonna leave you with this. I just feel like I've said this for a little bit. Get out there if you have nothing to do in the evening times. Go to a game and watch these student athletes. Look at the work that they put in to be able to improve and do what they do. Get out there and actually cover them. But I'm gonna leave you with this, and it says it always seems impossible until it's done. Artist unknown.
That sounds pretty familiar to what mine is. but, but yeah, I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in tonight. I also want to thank our sponsors, Bryant Family Medicine, Heather Martinez, Realtor, and can't say enough about them. Can't say enough about our viewers. Cannot say enough about the people that's overload their pages and keep coming on their pages, keep inviting. Uh, let's make this special and just big shout out to everybody that works with us. Ever big shout out to you, Rod. We was clicking Friday night. I mean, we had Ryan and Chris at a game. We was at a game. Edward, Allison was doing her thing. Larry was doing his thing. We had people about everywhere. So I can't complain about the direction that we're going. And just a big shout out to everybody that has been helping us, and just just glad that we're back to norm, and sports is back, school's back, so let's just get back to our normal life. But I want to leave you all with this: believe and act as if it were impossible to fail. Charles Ketterin, from all of us at the Bright Family Medicine All Sports Media. Good night and God bless.